And she also starts another GoFundMe called Mom Has Terminal Cancer Disney Trip, where on it, she literally states, I would like to experience Disney World with my 6-year-old son before I die within the year.
That's
and
insane.
People feel bad, and they donate to that as well. So
She's
these two GoFundMes alone raised $38,000. And that's a lot of money. But $38,000 is not enough for Ginny.
Yo, what's up? We got another video today, and we got some slightly different scenery in the back. As you can see, we've got some nice gym tile mats, you know, because I downloaded this because I exercise a lot and do a lot of like home workouts and stuff, and exercise, walk around a lot of exercise. I downloaded some of these apps that like give you rewards for like completing certain exercises and stuff like that. Like, you know, those step tracking apps that like give you like gift cards and stuff for walking. I've had some pretty good success with that in the past, and so I wanted to try out some different ones, and there's one of them, and it required me to do some stuff, as you can probably see before. I have like hardwood floors, so some exercises are not, you know, equipped to do that on the floor. I typically don't do the ones where I have to lay on the floor. But there were some of them that were. So I was like, okay, you know what? I happen to have these from my old room on the floor. My floor used to be made of this. In my old room, I had like a bunch of these tiles that I put down as my actual floor, which is better than the other floor that it was, which was no floor. But yeah, I just had them. So I'm using them again for that. But that's not why we're here. That was just a tangent. We're going to talk about why this woman is lying to everyone. She's lying to everyone, and I want to know why. So if you want to know why, let's go ahead and boot up the video and find out, okay? Let's get it.
Are just disgusting human beings. Specifically, I'm talking about this woman, Ginny. And Ginny, she's around 34 years old when this story starts, and she's living in Alabama. And Ginny has a problem. She's addicted to prescription pills, specifically painkillers. Like, she takes 30 to 40 Percocet a day. And I'm assuming she gets all of them illegally. The problem with that is that a habit like this is expensive. And she needs to find a way to come up with some money. And so one day, around 2014, she comes up with an insane idea.
How are you that addicted?
She'll just tell people she has cancer, and maybe they'll feel bad for her and they'll donate money to her.
Wow.
And that's what she does. She starts telling people around her this crazy story about how one day she went to the doctor for a biopsy, and either the doctor or the nurse used instruments on her that weren't properly sterilized, and because of that, she got sepsis, which is your body having a bad reaction to an infection.
Wow.
And then she says that sepsis somehow turned into cancer. I'm not even sure if that's how sepsis even works, but this is what she's telling people. So she's posting about this stuff on her Facebook and just blasting it out to everyone. That's so crazy. But here's the craziest part. She doesn't just tell her friends and acquaintances. She tells her own husband that she has cancer and her kid.
What?
Like, she legit goes to her 6-year-old son and is like, by the way, mommy's dying. But anyway, this actually works, and it works well. I mean, people believe her, and they give her all kinds of sympathy. And now that she has their attention, it's time for her to start collecting money from them. So she goes and she launches some fundraisers.
Sometimes I feel like people are like looking for active trauma to give their kids, bro. Because that is one of those things that's just like, there's no negligence factor of it. It's like, I guess she has to go. What is she going to do, right? What is she going to do realistically? She's going to like tell everyone that she has cancer and then not tell the kid. She's got to keep up the lie somehow. But that's dirty work.
He sets up a GoFundMe to help pay for her medical bills she claims she has.
Dirty
and of
work.
course, everyone just feels bad for her, and they start donating. And they're sharing the GoFundMe on their social media, and local churches get involved. And of course, they fall for it. And they're encouraging everyone in the congregation to donate. And so the money starts coming in. And she also starts another GoFundMe called Mom Has Terminal Cancer Disney Trip, where on it, she literally states, I would like to experience Disney World with my 6-year-old son before I die within the year.
That's
and
insane.
People feel bad, and they donate to that as well. So
She's
these
not gonna
two
die, though.
GoFundMes alone raised $38,000. And that's a lot of money. But $38,000 is not enough for Jenny. She wants more. So she starts hitting up close friends and family members, and she practically begs them for private donations. And I guess the churches she works with have online prayer groups, so she'll message the prayer groups with prayers, but the prayers are like, Dear Jesus, I need money for my cancer treatment, which is hinting to the rest of the group that she needs money. And so a lot of them read her prayers, and they start giving money to her. And to these people's credit, they really do pull through for her. They donate, they pay her utility bills for her, they pay her phone for her, they pay her mortgage for her, they pay for her and her family to take a trip to Chattanooga, they cover the hotel, they even pay for a scooter rental because she claims she can't walk far. Also, yes, Jenny does end up getting that trip to Disney World. And like one very generous friend ends up sending her $23,000. Damn. Now, of course, sending her 20 to Disney World. And like one very generous friend ends up sending her $23,000.
$23K, boy. Bro, this is why, like, can we talk about something like, that is so trash, bro. You're having people come out of pocket for your random perky addiction, bro? What? That's crazy work, bro. The people that love you, bro, the people around you. I've seen people do crazier stuff that outright steal it. But this is honestly just as bad. This is honestly just as bad. Just saying, just cancer baiting. Now, like, everyone who has donated to her, they might be feeling a certain way if, like, somebody does come up with something and, you know, people need help now. And they're going to be hesitant. They're going to be like, are you sure about that? That's so crazy.
Damn. Now, of course, a ton of this money goes to fund Jenny's painkiller habit, 30 to 40 Percocets a day or whatever. But a lot of it goes to pay for mundane, everyday stuff. Like, she's not buying herself watches and a new BMW. She's ordering stuff off of Amazon, and she's using some of it to pay her bills, and she'll often go out to dinner at a nice restaurant, but like nothing too crazy.
Pop perks.
Now, Jenny goes to great lengths to make sure her lies are believable. Like, she tells people that she has multiple tumors in her brain and abdomen. She says that she's on dialysis. She even gets her mom, her own mom, to give her a ride to the hospital sometimes for made-up medical appointments. And Mom never goes into the hospital with her. I guess she just drops her off outside. Now, what Jenny actually does with her time while she's supposed to be at a medical appointment...
I would never get away with something like that. I would never get away with something like that. Because if I asked my mom to go into take me to a hospital appointment, she's not just going to sit in the car and be like, all right, see you in a bit. She's going to be in there, like, sitting next to me, like, what's going on? My baby. Like, it's not going down like that. That's so crazy.
I have no idea. Oh, but it gets even worse. As if lying about having cancer isn't bad enough, Jenny starts lying about her son, too. She tells her friends that her son has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and that he needs a bone marrow transplant really bad. And so, of course, people start donating money to that. But here's the thing. Even with all this new money coming in, Jenny still wants more. And with her husband now out of work, she needs a new way to get it. So she starts really hitting up her elderly parents, telling them that she needs money for medical bills and whatnot. And Ginny's parents, they're not gonna let their daughter and grandson suffer, so they start taking money out of their savings for their retirement. Like each month, they drive Ginny to their bank and they withdraw enough cash to cover her expenses for that month. And they also help to pay for what she tells them are some experimental treatments. Like at one point, Ginny tells them that she needs to go to Australia to get some experimental treatment for cancer. So they give her $13,000 for this trip to Australia, which there was no experimental treatment. So this probably just ended up being a free vacation to the outback for Ginny.
That's insane.
I mean, this woman is just diabolical.
Yeah,
now,
man.
here's where the story gets even more weird. At some point, Jenny starts telling another really big lie. She tells her parents that she filed a lawsuit against the hospital, and that this lawsuit has been going on for a while, and that it had gone all the way to the Supreme Court, and that she had recently won a settlement from this suit, and now she's due $17 million. But for some strange reason, she says, the court has had an issue with the court system's collection of the payment, and that's why she doesn't actually have the money in her possession. And of course, Ginny's parents are like, $17 million, holy shit! Now, one would assume that because she had all these supposed millions coming her way, that she would stop asking her parents to help her with all the medical bills and stuff. But that's not what Jenny actually does. She still hits up her parents and everyone around her asking for money. So then Jenny has to keep making excuses as to why she doesn't have the $17 million yet. And she comes up with this whole conspiracy theory about how the Attorney General and the Governor of Alabama are secretly collaborating and withholding the money from her, and that they're just waiting for Jenny to die from her cancers, that they'll never have to give her that money and they can keep it for themselves. And if that isn't crazy enough, she also claims that Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg personally traveled to Alabama to try and figure out why Jenny hasn't received her settlement money yet. And she also says that the news media refuses to report on the court case because of pressure from these high-powered politicians. It's this whole conspiracy. So Jenny's parents hear all of this, and they become fully convinced that there's this huge political conspiracy going on to withhold millions of dollars from their dying daughter. So what do they do in response? Well, one day, Jenny's dad gets completely fed up with this crooked government, and he emails a local journalist to see if that journalist can help expose all of this political corruption going on against his daughter. And that journalist actually looks into it. And he's like, sir, that $17 million court case isn't real. There's no record of it. And he also finds that the doctor Jenny claims to see has no record of her, meaning she doesn't really have cancer. So this journalist passes this info on to the police, and so, bam, they arrest Jenny. Here's her mugshot. And ultimately, she takes a plea deal, and she gets sentenced to 25 months in prison.
25 is crazy.
Man's world! I'm the victim! Remember? I'm the victim!
So this TikToker, who also used to do DoorDash deliveries for a living up until very recently, posted a video to TikTok last month from one of her deliveries, and it caused quite a stir. She claimed that when she was dropping off a delivery, the customer sexually assaulted.
Can we go back? Please, please. Okay, cool. All right. We're gonna watch another one. Say less. But nah, that woman is so insane, bro. Well, not insane. Just grimy, bro. Your whole everyone around you. That's what people do though when they have addictions. That's one of the things that I'm just like, man, addiction is not good. It's not something we want to be engaging in, especially when it's this bad. All the drugs and stuff. I've had my fair share of run-ins with family members who are doing shady stuff to feed certain, I guess, addictions, right? And Not pretty, bro. Not pretty. Not pretty. Thankfully, it's all good now. But yeah, it was not a fun situation for anyone involved. But what are we gonna do? What are we gonna watch? What are we gonna watch next? We gotta do another scam. Yeah, we gotta do another scam. He's stalking a famous actress. Hey, maybe this one. Fake billionaire. Not to kill two of his wives. Excuse me. He's currently stalking her? It says he got rich stealing maple syrup. What does that mean? I feel like that'll be a fun one. Let's see. Pro athlete is in big trouble. OnlyFans, we've seen those. Can't get it up. We've seen that. Amy Bradley. No. Who's that? She's evil. Bruh. Stole a tank, bro. Alright, we might just have to go watch the other one in a second, because I don't think these are the vibe right now. Oh, K-pop idol? Let's watch this. Shout out to all my K-pop lovers, man. I love K-pop. And Korean dramas, the K-dramas. I love them, man. It's quality.
So this
media.
woman is a huge K-pop star. I mean, she has everything. But then she
Shout out,
loses
the
it
beauty
all.
inside.
Why? Now, her name's Hara, and Hara is 8 years old when this story starts, living in South Korea, and unfortunately for her parents are having a lot of problems in their marriage. And then, one day in 1999, the worst happens. Her mom just leaves. Like, she abandons her and her brother without telling them why or even saying goodbye. And that's it. They never see her again. Even though she only lives a few miles away, she never visits, she never calls, and she eventually signs away her parental rights. While Hara's dad is taking jobs all over the country working, trying to support them financially. So dad leaves Hara and her brother with their grandma, and grandma raises them. And so Hara grows up here, and she's really into singing and dancing, so she works on that a lot. And 17 years go by. And it's now 2008. And because she works so hard on her singing and dancing, she's chosen to join this K-pop girl group called Hara. And once Hara joins, Hara blows the up. Not only in South Korea, but they start getting big outside of South Korea too. And they tour, and they release a bunch of albums, and they do the whole thing. So Hara starts getting super famous in this world. And 8 more years pass, and it's now 2016. And the members of Hara, their contracts expire, and the group eventually decides to disband and each do their own thing. So Hara, she's like 25 years old now. She's like, cool, I'll just go solo. And she goes solo, and she puts out a little album and a bunch of singles. She's also getting roles in movies and on TV. Nice. I mean, you get it. She's still doing extremely well. Money and fame. In fact, some might say she's got everything she's ever wanted. Her life is essentially perfect. Until.
That's not good. This is too early for an
unfortunately, even with all the success, Hara is kind of having a hard time mentally. Apparently, she's never really gotten over being abandoned by her mother, and it's always weighed on her emotions. Not only that, being a K-pop star in South Korea comes with its own set of problems. Like, she's constantly being watched and judged and bullied by the fans and by the public. They microanalyze her every move, and they hold her to an impossibly high, unachievable standard. The way they treat K-pop stars in the East is intense, way more intense than the way we treat celebrities in the West. And on top of that, it gets worse. Because one day in 2018, something crazy happens. An ex-boyfriend of hers, I guess out of nowhere, reveals that he had recorded them smashing, and he's threatening to release a video he made of it to the internet.
Not the
Basically,
sex tape,
Hara has a sex tape she allegedly didn't know about. And this is a huge deal because in the K-pop world, this would immediately end her career.
It's gonna kill her
so
career
from
in the
here,
video.
this psycho ex breaks into her house in the middle of the night one night while she's sleeping, and this, of course, escalates into an argument, which
That jump
then
could literally be, like,
escalates
3
into some
seconds
kind
long
of
or 4
physical
seconds
fight.
long, and actually
And
could
both
end
of
her
them
career.
end up going to the police to file a report against the other one. And ex-boyfriend claims that she assaulted him, while Guhara claims that he assaulted her
pause
and that
significant
he's
pause.
trying to blackmail her with their smash tape and that he filmed that tape without her consent. Also,
actually
boom,
because
she
it's in
files
Korea
a
and-
lawsuit against him. Now, eventually, this all goes to court, and ex-boyfriend is found
I thought that
guilty
was
of
meat.
most of the things she told
more
police
skin.
he did, and ultimately he gets a year
Got a lot of
in
skin.
prison. Which is great for
You wanna leave
Guhara.
that part?
However, even though no one sees the smash tape because it's never released,
skin.
this trial is public and it's big news. So her fans find out about the tape's existence.
dirty
And
as
so, kaboom, this
I know I'm eating like an animal right now, bro. This might as well be a mukbang for this reaction. This is a mukbang now. I gotta formally apologize. Everybody who came to see me react to this video right now, I apologize because I'm just eating low key. Low key just eating on stream. Snooze. Gotta snooze that. Alright. I cancel one of my subscriptions. Oi. Alright, let's
blows
get back
up
into it.
into a huge scandal
back
because
into it.
even though Guhara's like 27 years old at this point, she's expected by a lot of the public to be all pure and virginal. I guess this is the expectation with
Yeah, 'cause
K-pop
it's K-pop
stars,
group,
specifically
yeah.
the women. Them having a boyfriend is a big deal, much less them having sexual contact
they gotta
with a
maintain
man.
their
Can't have a
fantasy
K-pop star seeing
all
a
the male
penis.
fans
Oh,
to be
how
able to be
dare
like,
they?
"Oh, I could be
And
her
so
first.
this negative publicity
her
is a
first
nightmare for Guhara. And suddenly the public is
could marry
trashing
her.
her. She's getting all kinds of hate online, and it's
Yeah,
all
keep up the
building
illusion.
up. And suddenly it feels like no one likes Guhara anymore. And this is a lot for her to take. Then the thing she feared would happen starts to happen. Her career begins to crumble, and her agency
Hey, come to
drops her.
America.
They decide not to renew her contract, and to make it even worse, her best friend, who's also a
make it over
K-pop
here.
singer, suddenly unalives herself. And Guhara is, of course, devastated. I mean, all this horrible stuff is going on with her career, and suddenly she lost her friend? I mean, these two women were really close. This is horrible. And at this point, this is all too much for her to take. And about a month later, she posts this selfie on Instagram with her lying down in bed, and the caption reads, "Good night." And then Guhara, unfortunately, unalives herself. But that's not actually the end of her story, because days later, her funeral is held, and it's a private funeral, just family and friends, so like fans can't get in. And at this funeral, her mom shows up. The same mom who abandoned her and her brother back in 1999 when she was 8. And her mom like demands to be put in charge, like handling preparations, coordinating the memorial, stuff like that. And other family members are like, nah, bro, chill. Not only that, she's apparently going around the funeral socializing and networking with people. She's asking all the celebrity A-listers for selfies. Guhara is a celebrity, so there are like other famous people at her funeral.
That's so
she's
grimy.
like, hey, can I get a selfie? I mean, she's just being weird about all this and
That's
not
so
acting like
grimy.
someone whose daughter just passed. And so everyone is giving her the side eye. But here's where it gets really crazy. Guhara's estate has got to be worth millions of dollars at this point, as she was a star for over a decade. We don't know the real amount as it's not public information, but it's assumed she was worth millions. Well, according to South Korean inheritance law, Guhara's money would automatically go to her offspring. However, since she doesn't have any kids, it would then go to her parents, her mom and dad. Yes, the same mom who was never in her life is about to get millions of dollars.
That's so tough.
And so dad, who also wasn't in her life much because he had to travel to work all the time, he immediately does the right
he was
thing
working to
and
avoid
he
her,
signs
right? I'm just working supporting her, right? Hey, give all of it to the dad, low key. Maybe give the mom like. Maybe give the mom like. I don't know, like 5% for birthing her. I don't know how long of her life was she actually in. Give her like that percentage.
His portion of the money over
or in like effectively, you know?
To his son, Guhada's brother, this guy, Haween. And Haween, he can use this money however he wants. But mom, she's trying to keep her millions. She don't give a fuck. She's trying to get paid. And so Haween, the brother, actually sues his own mom to keep her from getting all of Guhada's money.
Brother.
And eventually, this ends up going to court, with Haween's side arguing, this woman was never around. She signed her parental rights away. How is she entitled to Guhada's millions?
Oh, she
While
signed
mom's
her
side
parental
is
rights
arguing,
she's not even a parent.
And so, after about a year in court, the court is unfortunately stuck with the existing inheritance law as it is, and they have to give mom her portion.
But she's not even
So
her
they
mom.
give her 40% of Guhada's millions, while dad gets 60%, which he, of course, signed over to his son, Haween.
40% is
But
crazy.
Haween keeps fighting to get the law changed. And eventually, in 2024, the Korean government finally passes a new law stating that deadbeat parents, like Guhada's mom, will no longer be entitled to inherit their children's estate. And they name it the Guhada Act.
That sucks. That she had to be the catalyst for that. But it's a W law moving
Look,
forward.
I'm not
gonna
saying
lie.
Katie...
W law moving forward. But yeah, that's gonna be the video. I hope y'all liked it. Let me know what y'all thought about the eating and all that. That's tough for Guhada, man. Dang, man. Bless up. Whole family too. But that's gonna be the video for me. I'll catch y'all later. All right. Bye.